Hiya Rob, good session of the day. Hope you found it helpful. Just going to run through now the things we discussed from the session. As we said, firstly for me, your backswing length, probably more so with the driver because you said you were losing a bit of yardage and the desire and want to try and hit the ball as far as you can. Just for me, the length of this backswing now and how much sort of movement and speed certainly you were taking on the way back was a little bit out of control. As you can see here now, even before that club has gone back to kind of halfway, your left knee already starting to lift off the ground now, sort of trying to get as much humanly possible rotation in your backswing and rolling that club behind. So you can see at this point here now, the club has already got what we call a very sort of flat position here. Club very so much parallel to the ground there, okay? Left knee lifting off the ground, and you sort of continue on now. Lots of rotation. The club now at this point, because of that club going down, we're losing a lot of structure at the top of the backswing. So at this point here now, as we described in the session, it's almost like that young kid kicking a football with a 30-yard run-up. Yes, they've got a lot more energy potentially built up from that distance back, but by the time they get to the football, all their energy is gone and the contact's going to be poor. So really, when you got in this position, as say, the likelihood of you bringing the club back down consistently, you had a couple at the start there that actually were very, very good, but it was a very much hit and miss kind of format where some of the shots were going all right, but a lot of the ones are going very high, very cutting. You can sort of see on this one here now because you're sort of coming across the ball very much over the top. The club now having gone so far, for you to get the club back into kind of sync with the body, your body would have to stay in this position until the club got to about here. Well, you can already see your body's unwinding as quick as it would be, because I think that desire to want to try and hit it hard or swing fast, people start spinning the hips and twisting. So you can see here the club now coming very much over the top, outside the line. When you come across the golf ball now, it's very high on the club face, and look at the height of the sort of launch angle on this one now, just popping up in the air very, very high, and was landing. And this sort of peaked at about 112 yards down the fairway. We just like, it's already starting to come down now, and we can see just about through the side of your head there. I think it gets about 112, 113. It's already starting to come down. So losing a lot of yardage as a result of the height of that, just by cutting across the ball with that open club face that we discussed. So the feeling really from shortening your backswing is getting the left wrist, as you can see, into this position. Now the left foot's a lot flatter, which is great. You're creating more stability, okay? Getting the club into a position where we can return it back in a square fashion. And if the path goes out to in and swings in this direction, if the club face is square, the ball will just start going here, which will then in time make it easier for you to want to slow that body down and get the club working more into this direction, which again in time will increase the distance and the efficiency of your swing. So we've got to try and really focus on shortening the backswing, as we said in the session, the correct way, by controlling how far back the club goes. If we compare these two, where that club gets to there in your backswing, this to you felt a short and certainly slower backswing because you were keeping the left wrist a bit flatter, okay? So setup-wise was fine. As we get to the top of the backswing, this left wrist felt flatter, but you can see there that club's still gone a long way. Now in comparison, where it is there to where it is there is still quite a big change, okay? So the club now is in a much more kind of structured position. The club is in a stronger position, but it still has gone beyond where we wanted to go. So because you've gone over the top there now, as we start coming back down, there's still going to be this desire to want to try and hit it hard with the hips and your shoulders and your torso, to try and throw everything at the ball as hard as you can. The problem is now, when you start rotating, your left foot now is still off the ground. Your left heel, we can see there's no real shift there because you're spinning. And by the time you get back to the golf ball now, the left foot hasn't got much weight on it. We can see the left foot jumping out of the way and the golf ball then starting on the left-hand side. Now, in terms of the height on this one, it was a lot shallower in terms of the height, so it got a bit more distance, still a bit fadey, because the face, as we said, was a bit open, but we're trying to start bringing that ball flat down. Ultimately, we want the launch angle to be a little bit lower in your case, with a slightly more stronger, squarer club face, hitting that ball a bit further and a bit straighter. So the focus for you now, obviously not going to have the hack motion at home, but you can practice getting the left wrist into this position. I think you felt the sort of feeling that this position was more in like your thumbs pointing away from you, kind of up here. One thing just to be mindful of, we're not trying to stretch the arms further away, we're just controlling the wrist. Now, if the wrist does stay flatter, if we see the two pictures here now from left and right, your arms look a lot wider and a lot further away from your head. But that's been created by the wrist, not you just stretching your arms. So hope that sort of comparison there makes sense. You're not just trying to sort of throw your arms as far away as possible and overly extend. we're keeping that width because of what that left wrist does. And that's the key thing. It's not just, oh, don't overswing, don't collapse the arms, don't do this, don't do that. We've got to find the reasons why that is happening and at least fix the fault at source. So focus on that left wrist, keeping that club in a stronger position. If you come back as normal, which in fairness you're going to do more often than not, the path getting out to win with a square club face, we hope we start seeing some golf balls fly down the left-hand side. Once that starts happening, then we can look towards the next lesson about slowing this body down and working how the body actually functions from here back into impact to get you a better path. So I hope that makes sense. Any questions, obviously give me a shout, but I'll catch up again soon. Cheers, Rob.